2023, and I am bringing you the Birthday Bash virtual edition of my class for this month. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm very excited about this class. Of course, it's my birthday month, so I like to celebrate all month long. So let's talk first about some supplies to gather, and then I've got some birthday gifts to give away and a couple of reminders. And then we'll get into the project. So you're going to need your basics like you always do, some glue dots, some dimensionals, tear tape if you have it. If you don't have it, your liquid glue will work fine. A pair of scissors, paper snips. If you have a take-a-pick tool, you might want to grab that. I cannot find my take-a-pick tool. It's been missing for over a month now. It's driving me crazy. So I'm going to have to do a strip search here soon. And then I'm going to show you the stamp sets that I used for this class. And then I'll kind of point out. So I did use the peaceful moments, the happy birthday sentiment. So if you've got something similar to that, if you don't have peaceful moments, I use the adorable owls. One of the owls out of there, the little party one, and then It's Your Day. Something similar if you don't have that. I use the Seaside Bay, just use the birds and the shell. And then the Happiness Abounds, which coordinates with the Hues of Happiness DSP. So I use some of the flowers and then the sentiments. So if you have something similar to that. And then obviously you'll need some inks, and I'll kind of explain those as we go along. So let's get the party started. I only have 4 of you attending virtually this month. So we've got Peggy, welcome. We've got Leslie, welcome. We've got Vilma, welcome. And we've got Val, pals. Poor Val is sick. And so we're sending you some healing vibes, Val. I'm sorry you can't be with us in person. All right, so I've got 4 door prizes to give away. I've got these adhesive back seasonal sequins. I love these ones that have the adhesive on them. And then I've got this fun real red ribbon. And then I've got this little Ephraia pack, which has some sequins in it and some die cuts. Kind of fun. Great for making easy cards. And then I've got this cute little stamp set. Thanks a bunch. So let's get the party started with the stamp set. Get that figured out. So that is going to Vilma. And let's do this Ephraia pack next. That is going to Peggy. And then let's do the red ribbon. And the red ribbon is going to Leslie. And then the sequins are going to Val. Okay, so those will be with your kits when you get your kits from me. Let's put that to the side there. All right, now I want to give you a couple of reminders before we start digging into the kits. So I just want to remind everyone that this mini catalog ends on May 1st. And there's probably going to be, and there already are, some items that are sold out. So if there's anything you wanted out of here, I'd grab it sooner rather than later. We will know at the end of the month what is going to retire and what's going to continue on. So I'll be getting information out about that next week. I do know that there are some price increases coming, so I wanted to give you a heads up on that. Stampin' Up! Has been really good about not really raising too many prices the last 3 years. And so they've already told us they're going to have some price increases. I'm sorry, I don't know what they are, but I will know at the end of the month. So probably a great time to stock up on re-inkers, cardstock, that kind of stuff. The annual catalog also ends on the first day, May 1st. So again, grabbing things out of here sooner rather than later. I'd really encourage you to get your in colors stocked up, cardstock, re-inkers, whatever. Those things tend to sell out. And once they are gone, they are gone. Let me talk about upcoming events. So March is obviously the birthday bash, and it included a pack of the Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper. So when you get your kit, you're going to have a partial pack. You'll find all kinds of little scraps in the front, what was left over from your projects, but there's a lot for you to use and have fun with. April is Fawn Farewell, and that will be April 21 to 22. I believe you already have an Evite, and many of you have already RSVP'd. That class is $25. And if you're doing the mail out option, you'll need to add $8.75, so that makes it $33.75. And then May will be May 19th through 20th. And that one will be themed Welcome the In Colors. Now, I need to see the catalog first before I come up with pricing on that and make sure that we will have in colors. I know they're doing a color refresh. I've published that stuff on my blog as well as my Facebook page several times. So we'll have to see how that shakes out, but that's my plan. And then June will be June 30th through July 1st. And I don't know what our theme is on that one yet. I'm going to wait until I see the new catalog and see what inspiration I get. Probably be themed around something new. And then no classes for July or August. And then we'll resume classes hopefully the end of September. So that's kind of what's coming up. If you are one of my attendees for my senior classes, those are going to run all summer long as best I know it, as long as there isn't a location problem. And you may not see me at all of them. Some of them will be taught by my teammates, Tina or Lynn, but we do plan to have them all summer. Okay, so let's get into these projects. I think I got the business all taken care of. Let me get the paper out of the way here. So we're going to start with this card. And it looks like this, and I use the ink Gorgeous Grape. So you might want to grab that if you have it. If you don't have a full pad, look for a spot because that'll work really well with this too. All right, so this is what it looks like. It looks pretty simple, and it will be for you because I've done all the die cutting. Each one of our projects this month, we're doing something to the envelopes. So this one has a liner, and then we stamp the outside with one of the flowers from the Happiness Abounds stamp set, which coordinates with. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the envelope first, just so you can see what you need to do there. It's really easy. You're just going to slide this in, and then I line it up right underneath the, right with this part with the fold on the envelope, and just fold it over. And then you'll put a bead of glue, or you can use the tear tape there. And then that closes that up. And then you're going to go ahead and grab whatever flower you'd like and then stamp that right in the corner. I'm not going to do that. I think you guys can figure that part out. I'm going to show the assembly of the card. So let me put that back there. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the assembly of the card. So when you open this up, be a little bit careful because there is one little embellishment in here. Okay, so you have the DSP, and you're going to glue that to the Gorgeous Grape cardstock. Oh, I should have gotten a new thing of glue out because this one is very empty. Oh. You know how you want to get the last little drop, but I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time doing this. So I'm going to have to get a new one out here in a second. I'll finish this card and then get a new one out. I'm shaking it down off camera. Hopefully that isn't juggling the camera. Come on, baby. Okay, we're going to grab one right now. Stand by, please. All right, thanks for your patience there. I always try to check my supplies, but I didn't check my glue, obviously. Oh, yay! All right. So that just gets glued to the front of the card base. And this card opens like this. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to take this. Now you're going to find that I die cut it for you, but there may be a few little pieces still left inside that need to be poked out with either your take-a-pick tool or scissors or your little embossing tool, whatever you use to pick out little dies. Do you want to know what die cut I used? And then this is also embossed too. So let me grab those out here in a second and I'll tell you what those are called. I think this is one that's called Lovely Eucalyptus. Both of these are in the annual catalog. Okay, so the dies that I used, this is called the Split Textures die. And it looks like that, and it just cuts out one corner. And there's another one in here too. This is actually a really nice die set. See if I can get that out. Okay, so there's two. There's one that's kind of like little boxes, and then this is more maybe like a floral kind of pattern. And then I've also used the butterflies from the Meadows die set. And then this little tag is from the Designer Tags dies. And this is in the mini catalog. And then the folder that I used is the Lovely Eucalyptus from the annual catalog. And if you want to repeat this project and you have those supplies, I die cut it first and then I did the embossing. Maybe I should have done this project last. So I wouldn't have those little. So I just used my liquid glue, as you can see. If you have the fine tip glue pen, that would probably work really well. I'm going to put a little over here too. That tool works really well for some people, and maybe it would work well for me now that I've had my cataract surgery. I had a hard time seeing it prior to my cataract surgery. I should get it out and see if I can make it work a little bit better. Okay, and then you just line it back up with the DSP and glue it down. All right, now we're going to stamp our sentiment on here. And this sentiment does come from the Happiness Abounds. You can put whatever you want on it. And you want it to be kind of down at the bottom so you can put the butterfly towards the top. And then if you want to put a happy birthday on the inside, you can. All right, I popped that up with some dimensionals. So I'll put 4 of those on there, 1 in each corner. This is such a pretty card in person. All right, and then the butterfly was die cut with a scrap out of the Hues of Happiness DSP. Now you can either use a little glue dot behind this or a little bit of glue, whatever you prefer. And then we just need our little embellishment. Okay, all right, so there you go, that's all finished. And isn't that a nice presentation? The coordinating envelope with the card. Won't somebody just love getting this either in the mail or hand delivered? I love it. I really love this paper, you guys, and it turns out that it's very versatile. All right, let me clean my mess up a little bit here and we will get on to the next project. Okay, this is going to be our next one. Okay, and on this one, our ink is Melon Mambo, but I think polished pink would work okay, and if you don't have that, one of the lighter pinks or old olive would work, or mossy meadow, so lots of options on this one if you don't have Melon Mambo. I really like Melon Mambo. I hope that is not one of the ones that they retire. Okay, so when you pull this out, be careful, lots of bits and pieces. You got that cute little dragonfly, you got some circle punches, you got some long pieces, you've got this. It's like, oh, what are all these things? So let's go ahead and just take care of the envelope first, just to get those pieces out of the equation and lessen confusion. So there's a circle punch, and then I just punched out one of the flowers. Yours will probably all look like this. I kind of ran out of my own DSP when I was making the class packet up. Now this, what you're going to do with this strip is you're going to glue it to the envelope. And instead of putting the glue on the DSP, let's put it directly on the envelope. That way you'll know where it goes and you won't be trying to kind of guesstimate. Okay, so you're going to lay that, decide which you want to face up, and then you just lay that on the flap like that. You should have a little hanging over the sides and the bottom. Okay, so make sure it's all glued. Then just take your scissors and trim off that overhang. So you're using the envelope as your template, basically. And this is a great way to use up those scraps of DSP that we all seem to collect. They're too pretty to throw away. All right, so isn't that gorgeous? All right, now let's talk about the card. Let's gather up all the pieces. All right, now the card goes like this, and the measurements on this is it's 5.5 wide, by, actually it's 4 3/4 wide, the length, and the width is 5.5, and you score it at 4 1/4, just so you know what the measurements are in there in case. So it's got a little clever little fold in it. Super simple and easy. We're going to go ahead and run some glue down there, and then you attach that to the card base. And then you'll notice a little bit of the Melon Mambo kind of sticks out. That's fine. If it's not quite even, you can trim it if that bothers you. Okay, so now this goes in the inside. Melon Mambo's kind of dark, so that gives you some reading or writing space. And you can stamp a sentiment in there if you would like. Okay, I just realized I am missing, oh, here they are. When you open your thing up, look for your little rhinestones too, because there's 2 rhinestones in there. All right, so now we're doing a happy birthday in the middle of the white. And this came from the Peaceful Moments. And we'll glue that to the Melon Mambo circle die. Okay, let's see, we're done with the stamp pad, so we can close that up. And then if you want to put a sentiment in the middle, you can on the inside. All right, now this, just find a place where you don't mind covering up the flower. And pop this up with a couple of dimensionals. All right, now you're going to have 2 die cut flowers. So I die cut these for you with the coordinating Happiness Abounds die cuts. And like I said, I was running out of DSP. I made so many samples and protocols for this one, so I was only able to get 1 flower out. I didn't want to steal from any of you. So yours will have 2, and it will look like this. And then you will put the rhinestone in the kind of in the center of the flower. And then you're going to offset that with the little dragonfly. And we're going to use a glue dot to hold the dragonfly down. These little dragonflies are so cute, and they are in the annual catalog. You get 20 in a package. I think they're $8. I wonder if they'll be in the new annual catalog. They're so adorable. Okay, so that's what your finished card looks like. Yours will actually look like this. And I love the envelope. Yay! Okay, 2 down. 1 more to go. Let me swap out supplies here real quick. All right, this is our next one. That's what the envelope looks like. And then this is what the card looks like. Now this has got a fun little fold inside of it. And I love how this paper, it was super easy to come up with. I wanted to do this fold. Someone actually sent me a birthday card with this fold, and I loved it. So I decided to recreate it for class. But I just love how the paper opens up and you see the yellow on the inside. The dimensions on this, so this is 4 and the Daffodil Delight piece is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then the DSP piece is 6, the width is 6 by 5 1/4. And then you score at 4, 6, and 8. So those are your score lines in there. All right, let's talk about what's inside here. So again, be careful because there's lots of little bits and pieces. And you've got the die that you want to set to the side, and then we'll set these pearls to the side. You've got some ribbon, you've got this square, and it's like, what is that square for? So let's go ahead and take care of the envelope right off the bat. So what you're going to do, let's see, how did I do this? Blah. You're going to go ahead and line it up with the edge of the envelope. And these were scraps, so I just went with whatever kind of scrap you had left. It may be a little different size than mine. Just put a little bit of glue there. And then just kind of line it up edge to edge. All right, again, we're just going to use that envelope as your cutting template. And we'll just go around the outside edge. So again, this is a great use for those little odd leftover layers that we end up with, but it makes a nice little presentation with the card. All right. Let's deal with this first. So this should be kind of all set up for you already. You don't need to worry too much about those folds. But if you did need to worry, you're going to start there from the back, then go like that, and then close it up that way. So let's go ahead and put it on the Daffodil Delight piece. And you can look at it and decide which one you want to be on the front. The flowers kind of go in all directions, so I'm not sure it really matters, but pick the side that you like the best. Okay, so we'll lay that down there. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this. I used Night of Navy ink on this, but if you don't have Night of Navy, I think black will probably work. The Melon Mambo would work, polished pink, old olive, something like that. Yellow probably would not work, and I don't think the lighter blue would work. I don't think you'll see it on the paper. All right, and then my little bow goes like this, and I use Scotch tape to adhere that. If you aren't a fan of using Scotch tape, you can use glue dots. All right, and it just fits over that. All right, now we've got these two panels, and those go on the inside. And just kind of line them up and center them. And I see this one might be a smidge too long, so you could take your paper snips if that bothers you and just cut them. I'm going to take a look at it when I close it and see if I feel like that's a necessity. Yeah, it's really hard sometimes to get everything lined up exactly. Yeah, this one does hang out a little too much, so I'm going to trim it off real quick. Okay, oops, so sorry. All right, let's get our sentiment on here, and then we'll finish this masterpiece up. Okay, so the sentiment I used is from the Happiness Abounds. You need a long, skinny sentiment. If you don't have that stamp set, look in your paper pumpkin stamps. The sentiments in there, there's lots of long, skinny ones in there. All right, and then we'll just center that up in the middle of the die. And lift that off, yay. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and put a couple dimensionals on the back of the sentiment. And then that just goes over the Scotch taped area of the card. And then we'll put in our two pearls, and we'll call that one good to go. And these pearls are in the annual catalog. They come, I think there's 3 or 4 different colors. They're really beautiful. All right, isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. I love all these cards this month. All right, so next up is this one. And I thought this would make a really good card for a child. But it also could be for an adult. I just, I tried to come up with a variety of cards, a guy card and a couple of girl cards and a kid card. So I'm going to start out with the envelope. So when you get your packet, it's going to have an envelope already folded up in there for you. And I already scored it for you, but I want to show you how I scored it. So if you're on Facebook, you probably saw the video that I put out last weekend. And if you're not, you should have a link to the video. Connie showed us how to make this really cool envelope. If you have the envelope punch board, which isn't a product that's available for purchase anymore, so I wanted everybody to be able to make envelopes at home. That's a really easy way to make an envelope. If you don't have it, then watch Connie's video, and she'll show you exactly how to make this little template, which I've already made. And what I've done here is you're going to do a top and a bottom, so I'm just scoring it, so I have a score line to fold. Yours will already be scored. You don't need to make this template. This is just if you want to make them in the future, if you want to have an easy way to make coordinating envelopes out of your DSP. All right, so those are the top and the bottom. Now we're going to go through and we're going to do the sides of the envelope. So I'm going across twice with my bone folder. Okay, so that's how this was made. Now what you're going to find when you get your packet is it's already folded up for you. I already burnished it and folded it for you. So you don't need to worry about that. All right, so when you get it, it's going to look like this. It's all folded up in a little plastic packet. Looks like this when you get it. All right, you're going to need to open it up. You're going to need to take those paper snips, and you'll see a little triangle in each corner with the score lines. Just follow the little triangle and snip those little, follow the score lines and snip those little triangles out. Okay. Now, if you have any that doesn't quite line up right, you can snip them out a little bit more. And you can close it up. This is the way that I closed it up. You can actually close it up the other way too, whatever you prefer. I used the tear tape to close this up. You can use the liquid glue too. So let me show you where to put your tear tape. So we're going to need to establish what's the top and what's the bottom. So we're going to call this the bottom and this the top. So I'm going to leave the tear tape on the top because I'm not going to mail this out right now. So you just leave the sticky cover on there, and we will just deal with the bottom of it. So we need a piece that goes down on the edge. And again, if you don't have tear tape, just use liquid glue. Just takes a little longer to set. I like the tear tape because I don't have to wait for it. And then we just need a little bit on each edge. So I'll tear off a little piece on each edge. Whoops. I tore the cover off by accident there. All right, and then I'm going to pull this up. Okay, so I'm pulling off all of that. And that goes like that. Now, on this, and Connie shows you something different, you can either just fold it over like I've done there, or if it's bothering you to have it there, kind of fold it over and then turn it back around and trim it off. You know what? It's stuck to some tear tape back there, so I won't be able to do that. But just take your scissors and trim it off. All right, and there's your finished envelope. So we're going to leave that tear tape on there until we're ready to use the envelope. Isn't that pretty? That'll make an interesting piece of mail. Okay, so there's the envelope. Let's get busy with the card. I used Memento Tuxedo Black. You're going to need some markers for this one if you want to color the owl in. You can leave them black if you want, totally up to you. And this is the one that I used the adorable owl on. Okay, when you open this one up, be really careful. Lots of goodies in here. I forgot to mention this one has a little gift card holder, which is optional. If you don't want to put that on there, you don't have to. So that's what that little piece of paper is for. You've got all these stars. You've got some star stickers, and then a bunch of loose stars that came out of this layer. So what we're going to do is glue this to this. I found this paper to be very versatile, although it's very florally and it's just absolutely beautiful. The back side was really versatile. This is just got little stars on it. It's really cute. All right, we're going to go ahead and stamp this, and we'll stamp the owl. You don't want to glue this on yet because we're going to put a ribbon across it, but we need to get these things prepared first. So let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment down in the bottom. And I've got the little It's Your Day. And again, this is from the Adorable Owls, which many of you have from celebrations last month. And then the owl. If you don't have the Adorable Owls, use something similar. The cute little donkeys from celebrations a year or so ago would be really cute for this one too. All right, we're going to let that sit. We're going to color it, and then we're going to fussy cut it. So we'll let that sit for a minute, and we will finish this piece up. All right, so we've got this that we're going to wrap back across the front. I love this pool party ribbon. This is in the mini catalog. Okay, so we wrap that across the front, and then we'll put some glue and kind of place this on here, and then we'll anchor the ribbon down on the back with the with our Scotch tape, or you can use a glue dot, whatever you prefer. So just kind of center the piece up. All right, and then we're going to wrap this around the back and either use a glue dot or a little piece of Scotch tape. All right, now that all gets glued to the Granny Apple Green card base. Okay, all right, stamping is done, so let's move this stuff off camera. All right, I've got 3 markers here. I've got Pool Party, I've got Daffodil Delight, and I think this is Granny Apple Green. So those colors look really good with the card if you have them. If you don't, use something similar, or you don't have to color it in if you don't want to. I would suggest that you color before you fussy cut. It's a bigger piece, easier to deal with. I don't tend to color very often anymore, but when I do, I find it quite therapeutic and relaxing. All right, let's go ahead and fussy cut this guy out. So remember on your fussy cutting, if you turn your paper instead of your scissors, then you won't get those ugly cut lines. And it's pretty easy fussy cutting, just the feet are a little tricky. Okay, all right, now we're going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of the owl, just the top and the bottom, so it doesn't interfere with the ribbon. And I actually used an edge to kind of get that all the way up the top of the hat. We'll set that there. Now, where's all my stars? Okay. So we've got 5 paper stars, 5 pool party stars. You can decide where you want them. You can glue them directly on, or you can use dimensionals, whichever you prefer. If you like a little more 3D, or if you prefer it to be a little flatter. And from the eye appeal, it's always good to have an even number. So we're going to have 5 stars total on the front. 3 paper ones and 2 of the stickers. All right, and these little guys, I'm going to use my scissors to move it over. You can use your scissors or your take-a-pick tool. Okay, all right, how are we doing? All right, we're doing great. So now what you could do, if you want to put this pocket on the inside, and you could put a gift card or cash or whatever, just put a little strip of glue around the bottom and the sides and leave it open in the top so the gift card can slide in there. And then we'll put our remaining stars. I can't find one of my stars. Oh, there it is. Oh, my stars. I've lost my star. All right. And you can use a dimensional or glue, whichever you prefer. And also, if you don't know who you're going to give this card to, you could just leave that separate until you decide. I like to send my grandkids or give my grandkids cash or gift cards these days, so that would fit in there pretty well. All right, so that one is all done now. Isn't that cute? Okay, let me put this off to the side here, and we have one more to finish up. All right, now this is my version of a guy card, but it could easily be a card for a female too. And this is the one where I use the Seaside Bay for the birds and the shells. I just realized I didn't get the shell stamp out, so. All right, when you open this one up, just be careful, you're gonna find 3 birds in there. I die cut them already for you. And I think they look okay just in solid white. There's not solid white. I don't believe there's going to be any way for me to overstamp those, so I'm actually going to leave these solid white. Excuse me while I just really quickly grab the seashells off of the dies, since I failed to get that ready. I'll just stick that on the back of this for now, and then I'll, okay. All right, so in this one, you're going to have a strip that you're going to stamp. I just stamped the birds on, and then you can either glue it to the front or the back of your envelope. So that's how you're going to finish that envelope off. And then you have a piece of the Hues of Happiness DSP. So we're going to use this side to give it more of a masculine or a beachy kind of look. So we'll glue that directly on there. And I did use Night of Navy ink. And so you can either go ahead and stamp this if you've got any seashells and you want to go for the beachy look, if you have the Seaside Bay, or if you have something similar with seashells, or if you want to go with a different theme, you can. I'm going to go ahead and get this kind of, whoops. Let's see here. I got to get a little scrap under here because I don't really want this ink on my placemat. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, now close that up before I have that on my fingers. You guys would just crack up if you saw the mess that I have going here right now. It was so nice and tidy when I started the video, and now there's stuff everywhere. Okay, so we'll take that scrap of DSP and line it up with the Night and Navy layer, and then a couple of dimensionals on the side. And I put that kind of above the green. It's not halfway, it's a little more than halfway. All right, and then you'll take your 3 birds and figure out where you want them on here. So, that. I like the seashells, so I don't want to cover them quite so much. And I wanted them to kind of be at a variety of heights. Okay, so we'll go like that. All right, I used dimensionals on the back of them. If you want them to be more flat, go ahead and use glue or whatever adhesive you like. They're actually pretty cute and white. If you wanted to add a little bit, you could put a little dot in there with a marker for eye. And you could also maybe take a sponge and go around the outside of the birds. But they're pretty cute and white. And then whatever sentiment you want on the inside. So that is our final project. All right, thank you so much for attending this month. I look forward to seeing some of you next month or later in the summer, spring. And also, if you are attending next month, that's when you will get your new annual catalog that will come with your kit. So you'll be one of the first ones to get it. If you're not attending and you're in my customer base, then you will get your kit. Or not your kit, you'll get your annual catalog in the mail from me. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your kits. And if you have any questions about anything in the kit, please reach out and let me know. And have a good time. Thanks so much again, and take care. Talk to you soon.